All right, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be starting our webinar on the CNSM Beach XP Learning Communities information session for our incoming first-time first-year students. So let's get into introductions. So my name is Sergio Temores. I am the coordinator of peer learning. You'll see me here in the SAS Center and the Lindgren Center running tutoring for all levels of bio, math, chemistry, physics, and whatsoever. I'd like to pass it over to Dennis.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Dennis Garcia. I am the coordinator of learning communities, and I'm also the one of the academic advisors here at the College of Natural Science and Mathematics. My emphasis for academic advising is applied math, applied statistics, and mathematics. Some of you, if not most of you guys, already know me via email, or you've gotten a text from me regarding Beach XP. So I really appreciate all of you guys being here. I'll pass it over to Sonia.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. We're very excited to have you. My name is Sonia Santos, and I'm an academic advisor, but I'm also the Thrive Events Coordinator. And so I do programming, which is focused on your leadership skills, your communication skills, development, professional, career, you name it, we do it at the college. And so look for my announcements. I will be sending a calendar for the fall, and hopefully you can join us. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Poloyan. I am also one of the advisors with CNSM, and the majors that I advise are pre-biochemistry and pre-chemistry. And just want to welcome you guys. We're so excited that you're going to be joining us this fall, and we really look forward to meeting you.
Great. Thank you guys for that introduction. So just a little bit of housekeeping so we could make sure that we answer every questions, everyone's covered. So your video and microphone will be disabled. So if you do have questions, utilize the Q&A feature down on the tab on Zoom. We'll prioritize questions relating to this topic because we have a series of webinars. So if you have answered a question more related to that, we'll send you more resources closer to the questions you're asking. A recording and a list of all the questions asked during the session will be posted online in the following days. So just make sure you check your personal and CSULB email address for updates and info regarding Beach XP, advising, placement, etc. From the CNSM team. So what are we going to be talking about today? So first, we're going to go over what is a learning community and what it looks like. Then we'll be going into the program overview of CNSM Beach XP. We'll go over benefits, introduce you to our team of peer mentors, and what our learning community looks like in action. We'll talk about the activities we do in our program, eligibility and placement for each of these learning communities, and what we have coming up here in CNSM. So what is a learning community? The science and math learning community comprises of students taking the same pre-major courses and fosters a holistic and supportive environment. Students will find support through study sessions, fun social activities, groups with faculty, staff, academic advisors, and peer mentors, and learn about essential campus resources. So join us for a holistic learning experience where academic success and personal growth go hand in hand. This is extremely important for our students entering, our incoming first-time, first-year students, right? You're joining us in a very rigorous course load your first year. So having peers in the same classes with upperclassmen who have taken these classes to ensure you're successful is what we're here for. So what do we do? Beach XP is a program for incoming first-time, first-year students, and the learning community is built of no more than 20 students. So you'll have small class sizes within this cohort, and the whole point is that you're following this group of 20 students your first year so that you're not just alone or that you have some kind of support system around you. Each learning community is pre-built for fall and spring, aimed to satisfy MSRs, which is your major specific requirements for your degree, and pre-major GEs, right? So we're taking classes that directly contribute to your unit count for your degree. So we're not having you take any classes that won't affect your degree. It's more so we're having these specific classes to make sure that you're progressing within your first year. Beach XP programming is designed to help students create an easier learning space, build career opportunities, and cultivate a holistic community through similar major friendships and group activities. Just through the communities we've had in the this past year, there are students that met the first day at Beach XP and are taking all their classes together in the next year. So it really helps just knowing people in your classes. So you're not shy, you're not like the whole point is to make these friends and learn more about the people around you, because without those friends, without those peers, it's tough to study, it's tough to get all your homework done. So it's just good to be in that struggle with someone, I would say. And lastly, the Science and Math Beach XP aims to give each student one-on-one support to achieve their academic goals, to smoothly transition to college by connecting them with university resources. Dennis, our coordinator of Beach XP, and myself are present almost every day in these communities, and we're there just to make sure that everything is going all right. We'll ask you about your classes. We have a lot of students that do give us a lot of updates, right? They're like, oh, I have this job interview coming up, or I have this research position coming up, and we just talk them through it. We're always there updating them. We're there connecting them with people that may be able to help them. So it's just very, very, very close one-on-one to group support within these communities. So what do we offer? What is the program benefits? So as we said a lot, right? It's a holistic and diverse student community. We try to take care of everything in-house, whether it's advising, peer mentoring, academic support, but we also have a lot of different organizations come in, offices, resources come in to make sure you're getting the right resources you need. And diverse student community, a lot of the students, they are first year students, all of them, but they all come from different backgrounds. They come from different communities, but you all have that same identifier, right? You guys are all first year, and you guys are all in this math or sciences, right? So that's our point of bringing us together for that. So you'll have direct access to our peer mentors, academic advisors, and campus offices. A lot of students, especially in their first year, they feel shy to reach out to people. It's a struggle sometimes to ask for help, right? So we're here to take that middleman away and just go directly to you. Instead of you having to ask or you having to schedule an appointment, we will meet with you. We will talk to you. You'll have upperclassmen peer mentors in your classes just to talk you through, all right, what is the situation you need? Oh, this is something, and just provide advice, right? Campus offices, right? We'll have campus offices come to you to talk about the research they have, the student health services, the benefits, or not the benefits, the basic needs, the library. We have a lot of offices come just to visit us to talk about what resources they offer. Pre-assigned class schedules to simplify enrollment and ensure student secures the essential classes, right? So not only are we making sure that you are taking classes that progress your degree, but we're making sure that you have a seat, a reserved seat in each of these classes, because sometimes it takes a bit to like some classes do get filled up because of the time or because of the professor or so on. So we do have these pre-assigned classes to facilitate that process for you guys. So you guys don't have to, on the day of your registration, you don't have to look up all the GEs, you don't have to look up the times and all that. We have it pre-assigned for you. So it's just one stop, right? You just press one button and you're taken care of for the rest of the registration, right? Insights from faculty, campus leaders, university programs on research, internships, and career opportunities, right? So your first year, I know it's the goal is to successfully transition you from high school to college, but graduation starts on your first day. Getting a job starts in your first day. There are so many things you need to do in your first year to make sure that you're successful, and we're here to help and facilitate that, right? So you're gonna have an hour every day with one of your professors, right? Your math professor, your chemistry professor. So you have one-on-one, right? Campus leaders, university programs on internships, research. We bring all these people to you to ensure that after you're done with your first year, you're set up for success, even past Beach XP, right? So, this is continued, right? So exposure to campus-wide resources focusing on ensuring a smooth transition from high school to college. Here in this picture, that's the chemistry club, right? Yeah. So just getting involved in research and getting to know more about the programs we offer here in our college, as well as going to outside our college, right? Like the bottom right picture, that's us in the iSpace lab in the library, and they do a lot of cool stuff with VR, right? So it's just a cool day. We got to go out onto campus just to see what else everyone has to offer, right? Weekly tutoring and peer mentoring during their ES 100A section, right? So this is a huge part of the programming for our Beach XP. You have a tutor, a chemistry, a mathematics tutor, whoever's available for that specific section to help you with classes, with navigating higher ed, with any homework you have, or just in general, right? Every week you'll have an upperclassman there to kind of not be your friend, but like kind of be your peer mentor and be your guide into supporting your transition, right? So ES 100A is designed to provide comprehensive support to all Beach XP students, featuring fun outdoor activities, free weekly lunches. That's a big one. We provide you lunch and academic assistance, along with additional academic support with faculty outside of office hours, right? So like support is, like we say support a lot, but it's essentially just us bringing all the resources to you so you don't have to go out of your way to take them. Next slide. Awesome. So who are the Science and Math Beach XP peer mentors? I'll pass this over to Dennis.
Awesome. Thank you, Sergio. So like Sergio mentioned before, who are Science and Math Beach XP peer mentors, right? So first off, a peer mentor is a declared major student, or quote unquote known as an upperclassman in CNSM, who can provide general academic and student-centered guidance and tutoring to support your transition into college. And so that's the biggest part here for our peer mentors, right? So they are trained, they are essentially reinforced in a way where they know how to navigate students within their first year. They know what resources to provide, what resources to bring, and how to actually help first-year students, right? And so that's the reason why we implement peer mentors in our program. They also offer a CNSM student perspective on the opportunities and challenges that may be encountered, right, being in CNSM. So let's say you want some feedback on a professor. Who is the best person to ask than your peer mentor, right? Because in most cases, they've already taken those classes or have already taken a particular professor that you may be interested in. And then peer mentors are part of your learning community classes. So like Sergio mentioned before, they are integrated into our program. And so there is a designated time where they come in and they provide these services, whether it's, you know, our students just want a study session or they want assistance on a particular assignment, homework, or just study, right? And kind of get their perspective on how they study, how they maneuver through exams and things of that nature. And so when you think of a peer mentor, I want you to think of them as someone who you can relate to and reach out to, whether it's something that you want to know about like campus life or a particular professor, like I mentioned before. And so the idea behind this is that we know that science and math courses can be overwhelming to a certain extent, right? So at this point, most of them, like I mentioned before, have taken these same courses and have the same goal as you do. And so the idea behind this is that we want you to collaborate with them, because not only is the time essential for you guys also, but along your journey here at CNSM, you will also be encountering them, whether it's at the Jensen SAS Tutoring Center or whether it's at the Lindgren Tutoring Center, or you might even take other upperclassmen courses with them. So the idea behind this is starting you guys from the scratch, from a very strong foundation, and kind of build that relationship with them. All right, so what is the agenda for our learning communities, right? So aside from the regular class meetings, so we're talking about your chemistry, your math, your English, your GE courses that you may be taking. The idea behind this is that you meet once a week during your ES 100 section. And this particular section will be hosted in our CPACE building. So if you guys attended the day at the beach, and you guys had a chance to check out the CPACE building, that's where it's going to be located at. But if you did not attend or you haven't taken a tour of our campus, I highly recommend that you take some time to visit the campus and kind of get familiarized with yourself with the different buildings. As far as our courses, a majority of them will be in this particular building. It's called the CPACE, the College of Professional and Continuing Education building. And then we do have a pre-scheduled weekly activities, which is part of our programming. And so within these events, right, these planned events, there's going to be various campus resource centers coming in, presenting their workshops, presenting their resources. And along those lines, there was a couple pictures in the previous slides where we were in the library. So even this one right here that you guys see, this one on the bottom is one of our learning communities. We visited the library and we did an entire tour of that. And we actually came back and did the iSpace, right? And that's going to be like a virtual reality, 3D. They have this room where it's a full-on 360 room. And you guys, as students, can come in and do projects. If you guys want to see, like, let's say a movie in 3D, you guys can bring that over and just experience that as well, right? So these are the type of things that we do implement in our programming as well, to have a full-on like programming for you guys. That way, once you guys leave Beach XP, you guys at least have the knowledge of what is out there on campus and what is accessible to you guys. As far as the fall semester, all of our Beach XP students will gain full knowledge of the campus resources, offices, to better help navigate through their college transition, right? That's going to be the overall idea behind fall. And then once we move over to spring, within the spring semester, we're going to be more focused on a niche approach, right? And that's going to be academics and career readiness. And so the idea behind this is, because the program is a one-year program, we want to make sure that not only do you know the resources that are available here on campus, but you also know how to navigate outside of our program, so you can prepare for after your undergrad, right? Whether that's going to be prepping for grad school, whether it's prepping for a certificate program, whether it's prepping for a job that you want, whether it's resume building, all that good fun stuff. We're going to be bringing it in spring as well. And then finally, you know, the idea behind this is also to form study groups. So all of our learning communities within the first semester, we know you guys are all new. You guys, you know, may be shy, and it might be difficult to build those networks, those relationships. But at the end of the day, that's why our program is here as well, is because we know that process, that first step is very difficult, and for a lot of our students is a make it or break it type of deal. And so being able to bring that holistic family approach to our program is essential. And so the idea behind this is that if it doesn't take the fall semester, it will most likely be the second semester where you build that foundation, you build those strong relationships and those strong friendships. And I have testimonies of my students from this past academic year where they built best friends out of our program, right? So those are the type of stories that I like to see and hear, and those are the type of stories that I like to bring to these type of presentations, because at the end of the day, that's what being a CSULB student is, right? It's about academics, but it's also about building that strong foundation and friendships that will last not only the first year, but every year on after that. So Beach XP outside activities, right? So we talked a lot about the type of activities that are put in play inside the classroom, but what can we offer outside of the classroom? So a lot of these activities are actually things that are niched to our students, right? So we have the greenhouse, we have the shark lab, we have like I mentioned before, the virtual reality tour. So these are all tours and events and programmings that are offered specifically for our Beach XP program. And so it is a process to get those booked. It is a process to have like big groups and large groups of students attend these events. But because it's part of Beach XP, it's a lot easier to get and navigate through that. And on top of that, one of our goals is also to implement sports, right? So our center is heavily supporting sports, whether it's softball, whether it's volleyball, any type of sports we can get our hands on for our students to attend. We promote it, we advertise it, and we do our best to also attend and support those events as well. So we're talking about mixed academic and non-academic activities, like Thrive, right? So like Sonia mentioned before, she is a Thrive coordinator. And so throughout the year, she does have Thrive events. And so as part of the Beach XP program, we also support those type of events because not only are they really supportive on building academic knowledge, right? But they also talk about being professional ready, whether it's building a resume, whether it's how to search for a job, or being able to hear other panelists, whether it's from professionals or whether it's from grad students within CNSM. Those are the type of things that we do bring. And then we also have the Career Development Center where they come in and they actually give an entire workshop where, let's say you want to be a doctor, but you don't know what type of doctor you want to be. And so those are the type of questions that you would bring in during those workshops. And the Career Development Center does a very, very good job to kind of niche down on the type of options that you have. They'll ask you questions like, well, what are your interests? What type of field do you want to be a doctor in, right? And so they'll be able to narrow down and kind of give you a better understanding. And yes, we understand that the first year, you might not necessarily know everything as far as where you want to take your career, but it's definitely a stepping stone to get a strong foundation. That way, once you leave Beach XP, you have an idea of where you want to go and you know the resources that you can reach out to make sure that by the time that you actually graduate, that transition is a lot smoother, right? And then lastly, we as a program make sure that we engage into the campus community through field trips, such as the Japanese garden, and like I mentioned before, like the Shark Lab and the Ice Space. All right, so eligibility and placement. So I think this is the biggest question for a lot of people, right? Am I eligible to be part of Beach XP? So for the most part, mostly everyone will be eligible. We do have a limit of how many students we can accept just because it is a growing program, but due to the limited resources that we do have a limited number of students that we can accept. So it's first come, first serve. If you haven't already submitted your interest form, we'll share that later on as we progress into the slides. But first, the Beach XP program consists of 6 learning communities. And it's specifically for CNSM. Other colleges do have a similar program, but for CNSM, it's niched down to just our CNSM students. The eligibility for Beach XP communities is determined by 1, your math, and 2, your chemistry placement. Students placed in either Chem 102 or Chem 111 and Math 111, 112, 113, 119, or 122 are eligible. So essentially, like I mentioned before, it's a pretty broad spectrum of eligibility. So if you fall within these specific categories, you're most likely going to be eligible. ALEX placement exams are available for math and chemistry, right? So as we move on to the next slides, I'll get a little bit more into this, but for now, we're going to be talking about the Beach XP students who are eligible. Will also have, will receive their course recommendations or the options that they're eligible for as far as learning communities before their registration date. And then lastly, due to the high demand once you choose a specific learning community, we cannot make those changes. Let's say, for example, if you're eligible for learning communities 1 and 2, and you end up choosing 1, but later on you're like, you know what, I want to change to learning community 2. Unfortunately, we can't make those changes because, again, due to the limit of seating that we do have. And so I do recommend that once you do get that recommendation, as far as your options go, that you review it carefully and you make sure like, hey, this schedule looks really good, I like it, and you make sure that, you know, whatever option you do choose is the one that you're going to stick with. All right, so this is a glimpse of how the Beach XP learning communities look like, right? So it consists of 6 learning communities. 1 and 2 are going to be students who place in their Math 113 category, and that's going to be pre-calculus algebra. For Beach XP 3, that's going to be Math 112A, which is essential algebra. And then for Beach XP learning community 4 and 6, that's going to be Math 119, which is Survey of Calculus 1. And then lastly, Beach XP Learning Community 5 will be just Math 122. And so, for instance, if you are in the sciences, right, chemistry, biology, or earth sciences, then you do have to take chemistry, which is aligned with your math. If you are just a math major, then we're looking at just Learning Community 5. That would be Math 122. Or if in the event that you do not meet those requirements, you know, then we'll kind of explore what other options you do have. All right, so the math courses, right? So a lot of you guys may be wondering, well, how do we determine where we're going to be placed as far as the math goes? So the general rule of thumb is that for Math 112A, is if your placement criteria is ready for general education mathematics, right? Meaning it's you place at the lowest level of math, that's where you would be. And then the idea behind that would be that you're going to be taking Math 112B the following semester, which would be spring 25. There's a little typo there, but as far as Math 113 goes, you are qualified for this particular placement if, again, you also meet the general criteria for the general education mathematics, or you've placed anywhere between a 60 to 79 score on the ALEX math placement score. And then for Math 119 and then Math 122, it's going to be the same criteria. You can either get placed there with a calculus AP score of 2, an ALEX math placement score of 80 or greater, or if you've taken the SATs, you can get placed into there if you have a score of 680 or greater as well. And then additional information, right? Some resources would be the first year placement webinar. And so if you have not been to that one, if you didn't reserve, you didn't go through the webinar on that particular day, we do have a link. The most updated webinar isn't there just yet, but we are working on updating that webinar. That way you guys have that information. So just keep checking within the next couple of days if you missed that information. The second one is going to be the summer SOAR guidance for incoming CNSM first year students, which kind of covers the math and chem placement criteria. And some important dates are going to be your Math ALEX and your Chem ALEX, which is has a due date of July 7th. And you guys might be asking, why is this important, right? So that's a completely valid question, and we simply want to place you in the highest level math course in which you will be successful, right? And so that's why we encourage you guys to take these exams if you have not. I believe the assessments are free. There might be one that you do have to pay, but it's a very small fee. And for more information on that, again, check the website with all of that criteria. And so ideally, if you're like, you know what, I really don't want to take it, that's fine. Just keep in mind that we will be basing our course recommendations as far as the program goes based off of the information that we do have. So the more information we do have for scores, for grades, then the better placement we will be able to put you in, and the better placement for success that you'll be essentially put in as well. All right, so now we're going to be moving forward towards the sample of course plan, right? How does my course recommendation, how is it going to look like? And so ideally here, this is something that you will be receiving, and on the red box here, you'll have your courses. On the blue box on the right, you'll have your unit count. And then as you can see here, there's a green arrow. And then normally a student outside of BeachXP will not have that BeachXP text there. But as a BeachXP student, you will have that, and you'll have assigned sections, right? Like I mentioned, all of our BeachXP students have a pre-assigned schedule. And so that's how you'll be able to determine how your schedule looks like. It's hassle-free, it's stress-free. A lot of our students come in and they worry, right? Because our enrollment date is at such a later time as other colleges, a lot of the courses do fill up a lot quicker. And I mean GEs that they need to take. And so often cases, our students struggle to get a full-time schedule. And so that's one of the benefits that we do bring here in the program, is that we try to ensure that all of our students have a secure spot in all of the courses that they do need within their first semester to get them started. And so depending on which learning community you do fall in, it'll determine what your caseload is, right? So again, your math placement and chemistry placement will have a big factor in how many units you do end up, because it will put you on the particular course sequence towards your degree. And this is an example of the schedule, right? So this was last academic year's schedule. This academic year, it'll look slightly different, but the idea behind it is fairly the same, right? So the idea behind this is that our students get at least a full amount of units for full-time to be a full-time student. And in most cases, students will be enrolled in full-time within their first semester. And so after that, I'm just gonna walk through what each course looks like and what it means, right? So in the yellow, that would be Math 113. So essentially this would be for a student who is eligible for Math 113. And so it'll be your seminar. In the green, it'll be Math 93, and that's gonna be a support class. All of our students in BeachXP do have a support class within math. And so the idea behind this is that it ensures that our students will be passing 113 and moving forward into the math sequence as long as, you know, everything goes well. But the idea, again, is that we provide all of the support to our students. That way there is no excuse, there is no roadblocks as far as learning, as far as being able to grasp the material. And along that road, we do understand that there might be some complications with being able to understand the material, but that's where we also bring in our tutors, right? So Math 93, that's going to be an essential support class where we also bring in an additional instructor, right? Where they sit with you and they go over all of the material for Math 93 alongside with the material of Math 113. So both professors actually work together and ensure that the material aligns within the syllabus. That way, let's say you have an exam for Math 113, your Math 93 instructor will know that information as well. And so they collaborate with each other to ensure that they provide that extra support so you can pass those exams as well. And then the pink is going to be your Chem 102 lecture and activity. Your orange would be your Communications 130 seminar, which is essentially a part of your GEA1 foundation. And then the red is going to be your AFRS 119, which in this case is your GEF category. And so that's a good thing about our programming is that you do have courses that meet the MSRs, and then you also have courses that meet your GEs, right? So that's going to be a foundation course and any other course that fulfills your GE, which could be a C, an F, a D. And this also depends on whether or not you're bringing extra course units, right? If, let's say, you went to community college while you were in high school, we will take those course credits into consideration as well, and we calculate that into our course recommendation and whether or not you actually fulfill the eligibility requirements for our program, right? And let's say you've taken an A1, but you haven't taken an A2, you still qualify, right? It's just a matter of getting that information and kind of navigating with the information that you do transfer over. And then lastly, the purple is going to be our ES 100A section. This time slot is reserved for Beach XP activities where lunch will be provided, such as what Sergio mentioned earlier. And these activities include a particular time to meet one-on-one with your professors, peer tutors, guest speakers, and also kind of go through other campus activities. And then lastly, we are going to be talking about what do we have planned for Beach XP from here on out, right? So the first thing is our webinar, our kickoff, which is going to be July 10th. If you have not signed up for that just yet, I recommend that you do. We're going to throw a link in the chat for you. And again, that's July 10th. That is going to be the first time we are kicking off the informational section for the webinar. And then Beach XP interest form, right? So most of you guys have already received that from me. I will also be continuing to send out communications regarding our program. And if you have not, I believe there was a link that was put in the chat earlier as well. You can definitely submit that interest survey there. I will be sending out text messages about cool stuff that we've been able to do within the program and also as a college. The third thing is going to be advising and registration, right? So that is going to be July 31st through August 13th, which is roughly around 10 days. So keep an eye out on that. If you have not already, then I highly recommend that you check your email, your student email, CSULB email, and figure out when your registration date is. That way you don't miss it, right? That's going to be a very, very important date for you because that's going to be essentially the date where if you are interested in being part of Beach XP, that's going to be the essential transition for you to enroll. And then lastly, it's going to be the summer SOAR orientations. Again, dates linked to advisement and registration date. Those are going to come in hand when you kind of review that information. All right, so we've come to the end of our webinar presentation. At this particular time, we are going to go into a Q&A session. So if you guys have any questions, shoot them down in the Q&A chat box, and then we'll be able to answer those. All right,
Hey,
so yep.
Oh, I was just going to field the questions too.
Okay.
The first question is, can you be part of the University Honors Program and Beach XP?
Yes, you can. So we actually have a handful of students who are part of the honors program and have joined Beach XP program, our Beach XP program. And so you get the best of both worlds, right? So I know the honors program also has some great benefits to it. And so there's no conflictions. We actually work alongside with the honors program. So you get advising from their end, you get advising from our end. They have priority registration as well. And so the idea behind you getting a pre-scheduled course recommendation with your early registration date is that you don't have to worry about looking for courses, and you also can register early on. So yes, we do work with them.
Okay, great. The next question is, do we get to select what GE classes we get to take?
So within the first year, if you do want to participate with Beach XP, those are essentially already preset, right? So in general, whether you are in Beach XP or not, we always recommend that you finish your A foundations first, right? So that would be your A1, A2, or an A3. The other GEs, such as your C, D, E, F, those will vary. And so normally those are the first ones that kind of go away, right? So being part of Beach XP, no, you don't have an option to choose which GE, but on the other hand, right, you don't really have to worry about not missing out in enrolling in those courses because we do provide that for you.
Okie dokie, awesome. For this program, can one automatically join, or does one have to fill out some sort of form to join?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, if you are interested in joining, there is a survey that you do have to fill out. And so then once you fill that out, I will review the information that you do provide, and I will make sure that you actually are eligible to join, right? Because there are specific criteria. Like I mentioned before, you do have to meet the math requirement and the chemistry requirement. And then once you do meet those requirements, I will be sending out a communication email with the different types of options that you do have. I have not sent that out just yet for those that have been wondering, but I will be doing that within the next week or so. And so keep an eye on the email. I will also be sending out a text communication just in case, you know, you're on vacation or, you know, you're just busy. That way you are aware, because based off of your options, there is a time limit as far as, you know, when you can choose it, because again, it's first come, first serve.
Amazing. What is the difference between the learning communities?
So we do have 6 learning communities, right? 2 of them are going to be based off of your math, 113. Another one is going to be on the lower math, and then 2 other ones will be based off of the higher math, which would be, let's say, math 119. And the last one is going to be math only. So those are going to be specifically for math majors. As far as the content that is being provided, it's all going to be the same, right? So the one thing that we do really support here at CNSM is that all of our students get the same experience. There is no one learning community that gets more experience than the other. We are an equal type of program. Everyone gets that same amount of love from us and that same amount of support. And so, yeah, the only difference would be your math placement.
All right. If I got placed, okay. So yeah, I think you kind of mentioned this one. Someone's asking if they're placed in Calculus 1, if they could be part of a learning community.
Yeah, so just to kind of expand on that, all of our students, we've revamped our program where we are allowing all of our students to actually be eligible for a particular learning community if they do want to join, right? In the past year, it was slightly more limited, but because our program has, you know, successfully grown and there has been a lot of interest in our program, we've actually expanded the options of availability and eligibility. So it doesn't matter if you get placed in Calculus 1 and you are, let's say, a bio major, right? There's options for you. If you placed in the lowest math placement, there's an option for you. So it's just a matter of you, 1, submitting that survey, and 2, once I send out your options, that you get back to me as soon as possible. So your submission gets recorded and we can place you in that learning community.
All right, and I think that's all of the questions, unless people want to throw some more in there. Looks like the remaining ones are related to Alex and placement. So for those students, please be sure to email us at cnsm-advising@csulb.edu with your question. You can also reference the not BJXP, the math and chemistry placement webinar, which will be posted next week. But if you are going to email us, make sure you include your CSULB student ID number.
Awesome. So if you don't have any other questions, then you are free to go. And like Tanya mentioned, if you do end up having additional questions, just reach out and we'll be able to provide that information. There is one more question here. Do we have to pay for this program? No. So the program is completely free. And as long as you pay your tuition for your courses, then the program is here for you. We will accept you with open arms and provide all of the support that you need.
I just dropped the link to the math placement information. So if for that question, if you still are here, I dropped two actually, one for math placement and also for chem guidance.
Awesome. Thank you, Sonia. All right. So if there's no additional questions, then you guys are free to go, and we will see you soon.